Hey, what's up there, guys? Corey here again with GottaBeMobile, and we're taking a look at the brand new Android L release that was just debuted yesterday by Google. This is Android L, which is coming later this year, running on the Nexus 5. Now, what we wanted to do, we've already kind of showed you plenty about this awesome new user interface and a lot of the changes, that are present with Android L, with the multitasking and obviously these buttons on the bottom and the lock screen and the notifications and what have you. But one thing you'll notice right away on the lock screen, aside from those notifications and all that stuff, is down here below, charging actually now says how much time left until charging is full. Now this takes a second for the phone to kind of realize that it's charging and kind of get a fair assessment, but this is one thing new. So what we wanted to do is just kind of show you some of those hidden things that are maybe new to Android L that a lot of people might not notice. So on the lock screen or at all when you're just charging, 43 minutes left until full. That's kind of neat. It now gives you a detailed kind of description of how long until it's actually done charging. Another thing here is when you pull down the notification bar, obviously you just get some notifications. I got some music going, some Google Now weather, and some screenshots. And if you pull down again, you get that quick access to brightness and all those things. That's nothing really new. It's different from Android 4.4 KitKat, but not really new. But another thing is if you just tap the top, it brings it down as well. So you don't have to do all those swipes. Just a quick tap will also give you access to all those. But speaking of the battery, go ahead and come into settings and go to battery. And as you can see here, 72%, 43 minutes until full. Same kind of thing we got on the lock screen is also present in the battery list area. But we're going to go ahead and unplug our phone. And as you can now see, it says 8 hours left. So maybe refresh that. You've been using your phone. You're going to be at work for a while, not going to have full access to a charger. I have 72% battery life, and it is kind of estimating that I have approximately 8 hours of battery life remaining. Now, of course, this will never be completely accurate. This also might not be extremely new to Android in general, but to stock Android, this is new directly from Google. Other manufacturers may have added this in the past, so that's nice. But while we're here in battery, there's another brand new feature of Android 4.5, 5.0 L, whatever you want to call it, the Android L release, which is Battery Saver. We're seeing this with HTC and Samsung and whatnot, but now stock Android will have a built-in battery saving feature. So you can see here, always on. You can turn it on to always just kind of always be saving battery, which will probably kill all your notifications and data, but you can set it to turn on automatically at 15% battery life, which will basically make your phone a basics, standard phone for the most part, to preserve that last 15% of battery to get you through the day or in case of emergency. So finally having a battery saver mode built in is kind of a good thing here and another neat feature. But while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and go back a few taps and come down into sounds and notifications. So another thing here is do not disturb. Now, of course, this is something we see on iOS and some Samsung devices. You tap do not disturb, and once you turn that on, you will no longer be disturbed from phone calls, and notifications and messages will not keep you awake. So obviously a good time for this would be at night. You can automatically have do not disturb turn on at certain times of the day and at certain times in the morning, and you can do it for just phone calls. So if you still want text messages to come through but not one of those obnoxious phone calls at midnight, do not disturb will work for that. You can even tap who from, and only starred contacts can call or message you during these hours, or only contacts, so like anyone in your list, but none of those unknown numbers, telemarketers or debt collectors if you're one of those, So that's kind of great as well. But another thing we were kind of surprised about in the sounds and notifications area is if you scroll down, you can go to showing notifications. Of course, the pulse notification light, the Nexus 5 has a little notification light down here. Not all devices do have those notification lights, but most do, like Samsung and the HTC One MA and what have you. But if you go down to app notifications, it appears that in Android L series, you can actually customize every app to use the actual notification LED. Now, this is something that a lot of third-party apps do, but Google has built this right into where we can now control all of that on our own. That's kind of a nice addition and something that I'm sure people will be using. If you want notifications from Bleacher Report to kind of go off and show you whatnot and all that kind of stuff, it's all customizable here. Obviously, there's not a lot of options for colors yet. This could be coming in the future, but so far it's not there. But it is nice that we actually can control the app notifications. But I'm going to go ahead and just go back through here some of this, and overall nothing too crazy. But those are just a couple of those neat little hidden things that we noticed in the past few minutes. regarding Android L. But one more here. If you go into settings, well, before we go into there, as you can see, the keyboard has been completely redesigned, and nothing's split. All the keys kind of blend into one, and then of course we still have the sliding gestures for typing by swiping if you'd like, and everything is a little bit different. But if you go ahead and go into the settings menu and actually go into the keyboard options in language and input and scroll down, you have the Google keyboard, of course, but let's see here, go into that Google keyboard settings. They actually have a lot of different settings for the keyboard that we're familiar with. But if you go into advanced settings, I believe, color scheme. Now we have the new Material Design keyboard installed on Android L, which you just saw, which is part of the new design language and approach Google's taking with Android L. But there's still the traditional YN blue keyboard from Android 4.3, 4.4. So if you go ahead and go back to blue and go back to something, you have that original keyboard if you would like. So that was another thing we didn't expect to be there. But at the moment, Google has all three available and customizable in 3 colors, which is neat. Hopefully more things like that come. I know a lot of people may or may not like some of the changes here to the dialer, and see the buttons are like this bright greenish yellow color as you tap through things. Hopefully they'll let us theme some of that out of the box. That's doubtful, but if we could do light and darks and all that stuff, that would be really cool. I know a lot of custom ROMs do that, but we don't have that. Another thing here is you can push and hold your starred contacts or favorites and move them around. This is actually not new to Android L, but a lot of people didn't know that was possible. Figured we'd show you that while we're here. But nothing too crazy. We just went ahead and installed this recently, the Android L release. It was just dropped yesterday by Google, so we're going to keep digging in and looking for new awesome hidden features. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching, guys.